Boys, neighborhood picks. Happy Monday. We had a good weekend. Watched a lot of sports. We saw Usman get knocked out in the UFC by Leon Edwards. We got a new welterweight champ. Um, Anthony Joshua lost again to Usyk, the bumped up cruiserweight. So now everything in the combat sports world is upside down on its head. But that's not why we're here today. Today I'm here to do my running backs list in fantasy football for our drafts. Okay, we did the receivers. We did the top 30 receivers last week, and it was pretty. It was pretty easy because we all kind of know who's who. We know who's a prospect, but receivers, you had 27 1,000-yard receivers last year. Running backs last year, you had 6 1,000-yard running backs. We are in a different age of football. You got some teams have horsemen, like 4 horsemen, like the Patriots, like Bill Belichick. That guy has 4 dudes that run the rock hard, and it doesn't really pay to have any one of them. So, I'm not here to just do a generic list. Oh, this guy's 1, he's 2. Any one of these, all these geeks are doing that shit. Anybody could pull up their phone and do a generic list. I have the list in front of me of ADP, the running backs. We all know Jonathan Taylor's a consensus top-tier running back. Then you got McCaffrey, Eckler, Henry, Cook, Najee Harris, second tier. Okay, time out. Here's what I want to get into. This is the running back show, and this is what I want to talk about. Not just who, we're talking about why, what the fuck is going on here. Christian McCaffrey. Now, here's where you can be a slave to your position in fantasy football. Let's say you get the number 2 or 3 pick in your league. Everybody's together. Now, Jonathan Taylor goes first. You're up, right? You're looking at Christian McCaffrey. Everybody's fucking board has this poor kid in the top 3. Is he a great talent? Is he a great back? Yes. But has he been able to stay healthy? No. Durability. You can't just turn on health. Everybody wants to be healthy, but it's been a trend. He's missed a lot of games in the last 2 years, and they're ranking him like he's coming off 2019, and it's 2020, but it's not. It's 2022, and he hasn't played in a long time. So now, do you want to be the guy? You have to ask yourself this question. Some people are going to take chances, and I like that. I might be the guy that takes a chance on Saquon, but okay, do you want to be the guy who you're picking third? So you pick McCaffrey, and he gets dinged up, and we all knew he was gonna. And then you're playing your buddy like on a weekend. You're looking at your roster and his, and on the other side he's got like Stephon Diggs and like another great. You'd be like, fuck, man. If I would have just had some balls, I would not be a slave to my position. I would have took a good receiver and grabbed it back later, because there's so many good backs. There's running backs in tier 4 and 5 that can easily have better seasons than a McCaffrey and Eckler if he doesn't come out healthy all year. Dalvin Cook. You don't know about the availability of these guys. They're great backs. But like down below, 3rd tier, you got like Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones might be the best football player on the Packers right now. Like, he's a great football player. Now, Green Bay, no receivers. Not yet. Don't you think they're going to rely heavy on Jones and Dillon? So, okay, roughly the list is Taylor, then McCaffrey, Eckler, Henry, Cook, and Harris. I don't feel comfortable about Christian McCaffrey. Eckler, everybody loves him. He catches a lot of balls. However, if anything happens to him, there's a backup named Spiller on the Chargers. He caught my eyeball test. Spiller, if anything ever happens to Eckler, must be looked at as a handcuff. But Derrick Henry's right there, top 4. Henry had a Jones foot fracture. Once we find out what the fuck a Jones foot fracture is, then the drafts are coming. It's August 22nd. We need to find out what a Jones foot fracture is and see if this guy's going to be okay. Because Henry, when he first came into the league, he had like 3 fantasy football years where he was all right. Then he hit the mountaintop for a couple years. He's 27. I don't think he'll ever run better than he did in the rear view. So that's where you got to anticipate. That's where I get to the next guy in the last guy in the second tier, Najee Harris. I'm not going to just do the whole list. I'm just starting with the top. Then I'm going to do it my way. Najee Harris. I had Najee Harris in one of my leagues last year. I was just hoping. I figured rookie get a lot of volume. I remember one week he had over 100 yards rushing, and he had like 14 receptions. Big Ben couldn't throw the ball more than 2 yards. Million dunker, dinker, dunker. I'm thinking Pittsburgh doesn't exactly have an established guy that came in and showed everything yet. You're going to see a heavy Najee Harris workload, and he'll probably get a lot of catches and a lot of carries. I don't see a low floor for Najee Harris. He's got a high floor. That's a safe, to me, good pick. I might prefer him over McCaffrey and Eckler if I was picking like 2 and Jonathan Taylor went. Like, that would be like Nick Chubb from last year, how much respect he had coming into the year. Nick Chubb is down at the end of the second round this year. Like, all right, let's go through divisions. Forget who's where. We need to know who are the running backs on these teams and how this team plays. Like, there's only a couple teams out there that play one back mainly. Most of these teams have 2 backs. Some of these teams rotate, like the Patriots, 3-4. It gets crazy. Those are the teams you don't want any part of. Let me give you a thumbs up division that I'm trying to speak about. Thumbs up division, the AFC North, Baltimore. You got J.K. Dobbins is back. Gus Edwards is behind him, and Mike Davis. Remember Mike Davis, Panthers, Falcons, all that? But Dobbins he led the NFL in yards per carry 2 years ago. He got hurt early. He tore his ACL this time last year. Chris Godwin tore his ACL in December last year, and he's ready for week 1. What if Dobbins is ready? Dobbins might be a good back. He's down low. If he stays healthy, you got to look at him. Joe Mixon for Cincinnati. He's the guy. He's one of the few teams where he's the guy. Perrine is behind them. You got some guys. Everybody's got a guy that spells him, but Mixon is the guy on Cincinnati. So this division, look at it: Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. Listen, I had Nick Chubb last year. They stunk last year, Cleveland, and I love Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is good. He's a fucking great back. So if Nick Chubb is down there, 20-something, imagine you get Jonathan Taylor and you're staring at Nick Chubb on the comeback. You don't think you're smart enough to find a couple receivers down the road? You might have to look at that, man. Nick Chubb is low this year because they think Cleveland's going to stink. But who do you think's going to get the rock? Nick Chubb. And he's a great back. And then Pittsburgh, the last team in that division, Najee Harris. So like the AFC North, I like all the backs from that division. Dobbins, Mixon, Chubb, Harris. Now, Dobbins is low. Mixon is up top, probably first round. Chubb is late second round. Harris is first round. So you could steal one of those later, but they're all valuable. They're interchangeable. There's no guarantee on one of them having the best season. Dobbins, Mixon, Chubb, Harris. There's no guarantee who's going to have the most rushing yards. But you got your rankings, so it's in your mind that this guy's better than this guy. It doesn't work like that. Another division. Here's a division that I'm going to stay away from. The AFC East. Buffalo. Great team. Singletary. Does he really have it? I watched him a lot last year. If he had it, I think I would have seen it. I don't see it. New England, they got the horsemen, Harris, Stevenson. They got Ty Montgomery now. They're going to do all kinds of shit. There's no way to predict that. Forget New England backs. James White just retired. Miami. Now, this is interesting. They got a stable. Miami went out. They got 4 backs that can all ball. They got Chase Edmonds as their number 1 right now. They got Raheem Mostert, one of my favorite backs from the 49ers. The kid could fly. If Raheem Mostert ever stays healthy, he's going to be flying all over the field. Then you got Sony Michel, and then you got Myles Gaskin. Remember 2 seasons ago, people were picking up Myles Gaskin off waivers, and he was balling? He's still there. Miami's got 4 backs. You know what that means? Don't touch him. Too risky. That's why, okay, these are all backs that can get drafted in your league, but they'll fuck your head up. I wouldn't feel comfortable going in with a guy where I'm not sure his usage rate. I want things that I know at least 75% in my mind that I know it's going to go this way or that way. So we AFC East, AFC North. Okay, look at this one. The AFC South, Houston, they stink. So we're not going to talk about Mac and anybody. Forget Houston. I'm not touching any. You don't want to get guys on total shit teams, because if you can't get to the end zone, then half your points are gone. Touchdowns count too. If it wasn't for touchdowns, like Thielen had 10 touchdowns last year, and Thielen's way down. Receiver. I don't want to get into receivers though. Houston stinks. Indianapolis, Jonathan Taylor, the best. If you have the number one pick in your league, you should take Jonathan Taylor. Why? He's young. He's a sprinting champion. He's not just a running back. He's like a 10-something 100 guy. Track star. He's fast. He's strong. He's durable. And he led the league in rushing last year. And he could go for 2,000. And the Colts are a great team. So Jonathan Taylor is the clear-cut number one dog. I would be surprised if he doesn't go number one in everybody's draft. Then, Tennessee, you got Henry, right? You got Henry. Derrick Henry's back. We just got to find out about that foot fracture. But he doesn't really catch a lot of balls. So I don't know if I would want Henry this year, personally. My flavor might be more like an Aaron Jones. I like that shit. Henry, he hit the top of the mountain already. He's not going to catch a lot of balls. Not sure. I'm not predicting he's going to fall off, but it's going to be a tough year. He's not sneaking up on anybody. Now, Jacksonville. I drafted ATN last year, an hour before he broke his foot. I drafted this kid last year. Clifford ATN and Trevor Lawrence were teammates at Clemson. This guy broke every running back ever at Clemson. They said he was the best running back Clemson ever had. Broke every record. Now, I think he broke his foot. He's better, and it's been a full 12 months. Clifford ATN might be a problem this year. He might be somebody that goes very late that has a great year. You can't just go on last year. If you go by last year's guys, you'll be screwed up. Look at all the guys that disappeared. David Johnson from the Cardinals. Remember when David Johnson had a good year and then he went one? And it was like, where is he? He disappeared off the face of the earth. You got to know what's coming, not what just happened. We all know what just happened. Tennessee, Henry. Jacksonville, ATN. Now, you get to a division like the AFC West, Denver. Let Russ cook. They don't have great receivers right now. We don't know how much Russ is going to be cooking, but we know what. I know one thing. Melvin Gordon's the backup. Javonte Williams, my favorite young running back, led the league, led the conference in the NCAAs 2 years ago as a senior at North Carolina. Yards after contact, 5.4 yards after contact. Got to the NFL last year as a rookie. Led the NFL in yards after first contact again last year. Super duper power, strength. Love Javonte Williams. Last year, it was 200 carries. Williams, Gordon. I see it shifting a little bit towards Williams. Williams is a big time back on the way up. And Gordon's a little older now, too. And God forbid, if Gordon ever goes down, Williams is going to be like, forget about it. He might be the best back in the whole league. But that's a fun division. KC, Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. Clyde Edwards, I had a fucking good game on my debut of my life, and then I never played again. I don't know about him yet. You got Ronald Jones on that team. You never know. Ronald Jones, I never did not like Ronald Jones. I've always liked Ronald Jones. They just stopped playing him. Speaking of his replacement, I heard Playoff Lenny's looking fat. I heard Playoff Lenny's about 270 in camp. He's got to go on one of them like slim fast diets and shit. Lenny came in a little plumpy. I'm worried about him. Fournette, remember that. Now Raiders, Jacobs. Jacobs has been in the league a couple of years now. He's going to be down. You're going to be able to get him. The Raiders, Derek Carr, Waller, Renfro, Adams, they look like the team that's going to be on all cylinders to me. I'm not worried about them. I think the Raiders are going to ball this year. So Josh Jacobs stays healthy. You got yourself a damn good running back. You could start him in your leagues. If he stays healthy, he could have a better year than Eckler or McCaffrey or any of these guys. These guys are all close. Don't get married to the ranking on some jerk-off's internet page. You got to know the team, the guys, how the system is, the coach, what's going on, who else is there, and how many backs are in the stable. The Raiders, you got Jacobs, but nobody after that of mention. Chargers, Eckler, and remember, that backup kid I told you about, Spiller. If something happens to Eckler, that kid Spiller is going to do everything. So that could be the most valuable handcuff that people are not paying attention to yet. But I love the kid. NFC East, Dallas. This is the most fucked up running back division ever. Nobody has faith in any of them. Zeke has stunk the last couple of years. He's only 27. Zeke is going like this: feed me, feed me, feed me. Pollard is becoming a good running back. So you got to look at Tony Pollard. Now, Saquon Barkley's 2 years off the ACL. He's looking great. I don't want to jinx him. They even rested him last night. They didn't even play him. He looks good. It's never going to get better for Saquon than it's going to be this year. If you're a Giants fan, if you're a Saquon fan, if you're hoping he does good and you want to take him. Because he's 2 years off the ACL, new coach from Buffalo. I saw them get the running back last night, the ball in space, all over the field, ball in space. That's going to be Saquon. So I liked what I saw. So Saquon looks good. Washington, Gibson, and J.D. McKissick. We know that. Gibson had nice numbers, but I just hate Washington. Philly, Miles Sanders. You going to take Miles Sanders? I don't know. Enough said. Now, NFC South. Atlanta. We can't ignore Cordell Patterson. The most curiously interesting story in sports. The man played 9 years in the NFL. They could not figure out how to use him. He goes to the Falcons and becomes a fucking super weapon. You can't ignore Cordell Patterson. He's listed as the running back on the Falcons. Got to go with Cordell. Carolina, Christian McCaffrey, CMC. I got a little trinket for you. Christian McCaffrey, great back, right? Let's say he gets hurt. Remember last year when Henry got hurt? Remember that fucking beast that was running just like Henry? He looked like Henry. Foreman? Well, he's on Carolina now. So when Christian McCaffrey gets dinged up, Foreman's coming in. Keep your eye on Foreman for Carolina. New Orleans, the Kamara and Ingram train is back again. I can't believe it. Kamara and Ingram after 5 years, that's amazing. Ingram's old as shit. I wouldn't touch him. But Kamara, I thought he was going to be suspended. They're saying he's back game one. Jameis, Michael Thomas, Olave, Alvin, Kamara. You can't ignore that. I would take him in the top 10. If he's playing game one, give me some Kamara. I love me some Kamara. That man is a great football player. And nobody else in the backfield that's going to get a ton of work. Ingram can't get a ton of work. He's too old. Tampa Bay, playoff Lenny. I hear he's playoff Chubby right now, but that's just rumors, so I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to pack on a little weight, but Fournette, he's got to stay. We know the type of talent he is. You could take him. He does get dinged up once a year a little bit, so, he's lower. He's lower down there, but he's talent-wise, he's high talent. So, we're looking at teams, how many people are in the backfield, how good the team's going to be. If this guy could be a potential 1,000-yard rusher or catch balls, what can he do? That's what we need to know. Not what Field Yates has on his fucking thing, whatever his name is. Okay, NFC North. Did we go through that? Oh, Bears, Montgomery. I've been hearing about Montgomery for a couple years now. This is like the year like Montgomery's going to step up and be a real starter and a solidified guy, or somebody else is going to get a shot next year. I'm not going to touch anybody on the Bears because I don't know how they are yet. I do like Mooney, though. Detroit, Swift, big-time back. A lot of catches, big yards, plays on Detroit, but that's a guy in everybody's top 10 for running backs. So that's a weird one. I don't usually like guys on shit teams, so I'm leery of Swift. Now, Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, the MVP, lost. He lost Marquise Valdez-Scantling. He lost Devontae Adams. Who do they got? Aaron Jones, the best football player left on the team, and Dylan. Aaron Jones is going to be down. Listen, are you gonna force yourself at number 4 to take somebody you don't want to take when you got a guy like Aaron Jones that's going to be down there 12, 14 maybe? I love me some Aaron Jones, and I think he's going to be very valuable this year, especially in the beginning. And then you got Dylan, who's a hell of a back. He's not just a backup. He plays. He's the other back. Difference. There's backups, and then there's the other back. Dylan's no backup. He's a fucking real back. So Corey Dillon, whatever his name is, A.J. Dillon. There's a lot of Dillons in my day. Dylan for Green Bay, thumbs up. If you have Aaron Jones, it wouldn't be bad to take him, so you got them both. I like the double bingers. Minnesota, Dalvin Cook, always hurt, but in 13 games, he puts up enough stats for a whole year. So, and health is not guaranteed to anyone anyway. I'm just noting guys that have a little bit of a history of this stuff and guys that, stay durable and this and that. So, Cook, I like him, but if I have the 4th pick in my draft or 5th, I'm passing him. I'm finding other dudes that I think are going to consistently put up points that could be from another position. I'm staying away from guys like that. And if my new guy gets hurt, so be it. Cook, okay, now, NFC West. This is a weird division. I don't like anybody. Arizona, Connor. What has he really done lately? What have you done for me lately, James Conner? Akers on the Rams looked good, but we don't know what the Rams are going to do. They got Stafford with the elbow. They're a passing team. They got to run, but I don't know if does the NFC West ever, do the Rams? When was the last time the Rams had a runner? That I don't know. 49ers got Elijah Mitchell, already got a tweaked hamstring. He's a hell of a back, and the 49ers are super powered all over the place. So I do like Elijah Mitchell a lot. That's a back that's going to be there. He's a starter, and he's a good player. Seattle, they stink. Rashard Penny's a good running back, but Seattle stinks. But when you go down the divisions, so AFC East, thumbs down. Too much going on. The Jets got Breece Hall. I love Breece Hall. He might be the best running back in the whole league, but we don't know what the Jets are going to do. Miami's got too many. New England, too many. Singletary, So the AFC East, thumbs down. AFC North, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. You got Dobbins, Mixon, Chubb, Harris. That's a good division to look at, getting your running backs. AFC South, Houston, Indy, Jacksonville, Tennessee. Houston, forget about them. Indianapolis, Jonathan Taylor, numero uno. Jacksonville, ATN, the best running back ever out of Clemson. This is his rookie year. He was hurt last year, and I believe a broken foot just heals. So he's not like damaged goods. This guy might come hit the ground running, and he's got his quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. Tennessee, Henry, you can't doubt him. AFC West, Denver with KC and the Raiders and the Chargers. They got Williams, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jacobs, Eckler, good division. NFC East, we know what's going on there. Saquon, bounce back year. Zeke, what the hell's going on? So NFC South, you got the weapon Cordell Patterson. Can McCaffrey stay healthy? Kamara, playoff Lenny. You got talented backs all over the league. It's basically up to you what team you like and who's got the least crowded backfield. So if you can get a team with one bell cow, which is very rare, you go with that. And I would stay away from guys that are oft injured. I would stay, McCaffrey scares me. Cook scares me. I like Javonte Williams because he's young. The young guys are durable on their way up. I like Javonte Williams. I just feel like he's got about 8,000 more hits left in him. You only have so many hits left in you. Remember Cam Newton when he used to get the ball under and do a sneak and run a fucking linebacker over and do this and this? Now you don't see Cam running guys over because he hit, he got that shoulder surgery and kind of hurts coming out that surgery. You're not the same. You only got so many hits in you. Remember that. McCaffrey's just going to come in this year because he lifted some extra weights, and he's going to, that first 265-pound fucking beast of a linebacker that he's got to pick up on a blitz. Got to think about that too. It's not just the list of who's good. But that's what I feel about the running backs. I want when I'm talking to you guys, I'm thinking more about names who sticks out to me and what I think about them. Their number on a list is really up to you and up to me of how we want to shape our teams. The one thing I've learned in about 17, 18 years of fantasy football, don't get married to the number on somebody's ranking list because it never happens like that. Michael Thomas, most catches, got drafted first the next year, didn't even play. You just got to do your own thing. Know who's who, what team, where they're coming from, how things are going in that division, the coaching, and the player's talent, availability, and his teammates. How many people are in the backfield? So I hope I helped you guys out. That's my running backs list for the fantasy football drafts coming up in a week and two for everybody. So this is Neighborhood Picks. Like, subscribe, tell people about the channel. We're doing our live start and sits. We're going to be doing live watch parties. We're going to have people on the Zoom box. We're going to have dialogue that goes slower when we want to speak about things. We're going to do pick-em shows. We're going to just do whatever we feel like doing and have a really fun year. So that was the running backs, and pretty soon we're coming out with the quarterbacks, the official quarterbacks list and tight ends, and then we got FanDuel and stuff, and before you know it, we're going to have our drafts. So good luck to everybody, and I'll see you soon.